So I'm not sure why they're even here.
Well, and may I just say that we,
Oh,
BWA Beads and, Dreambox are the same address.
It doesn't make a difference. They can, you can have as many people as possible can apply for the same address. Although we'd love to see, yep, pass those down, please. Whoever has the license, we're not really sure.
Oh, God.
Okay. So 145 Mulberry Street, which is listed as postponed to February, we will make sure that we port them off to the proper community board. All right? So with all of that, does anybody have any questions on anything that we've said thus far? Fantastic. Let's rock to do, if you were with us last night at the Quality of Life Committee,
Oh, Mimi,
we
grab
are
a mask.
handing out masks. There was somebody who was at our Quality of Life meeting along the wall for the second topic who tested positive. So we're handing out masks tonight just in case.
I wish they had told us early, so I could have avoided being.
Yeah,
with my
do it in the
mother.
hall.
Eat at my desk over here. All right.
When
And
did they
just
let you know?
For the, today, this afternoon. Okay, we sent out an email. Just so everybody knows, the windows are open behind us for airflow, hence the door being opened and masks. Okay.
I can't think of her.
386 Canal Street, BWA Beads, which was rescheduled. Do we have the applicant in the room?
I think so.
Ted, are you online? Control panel is correct.
We have online paperwork for BWA Beads, but not.
Yeah, I see BWA Beads.
Sneeze.
To the end.
I see BWA Beads representative is online. Please unmute yourself.
Hello, hi council, can you hear me?
I can, I'm,
I think they're, you said your person is in the elevator on the way here?
He's on the he's in the elevator coming up is what he's telling me.
okay, so we're gonna move to the next one. We'll come back to you, okay?
Okay, thank you so much, council.
You're welcome. Okay, Bud Nation, 88 Fulton Street.
Yes.
Can you please, stand up? Please note, introduce yourselves. The cameras and the microphones are in the center of the table, so you need to step forward to the table. And, we go from here. And
And these things are the cameras. That's
Okay,
enough.
got you. Would you like us to sit, stand, or perfect?
standing is fabulous for presentation.
Perfect.
And do you have an extra copy of your,
Yes,
We have several.
perfect, I'll take one.
and here you go. This is the
Thank
same
you.
as this if you want it zappalecally.
Yep, we'll need it. Okay, thank you, and the floor is yours. Welcome.
Hi, how are you? Edward Katsowski, Bud Nation.
You may talk louder because I can
Edward
hardly hear you.
Katsowski, Bud Nation.
And my name is Jeffrey Hoffman. I'm the attorney for Bud Nation.
Gentlemen? So tell us, I mean, make your presentation.
So, Edward is looking to open a dispensary at 88 Fulton Street. They have met all the requirements that the community board presented to us. They are contained within, the documents that you have here. We did prepare a community impact statement that was not included with your documents here that I would like to read to you briefly. Actually, I will let Edward read it to you briefly. I want me to do it, okay? Edward's a little nervous. I have him with him here today, so I'll read this for you. We at Bud Nation are strong believers in having our business be a vibrant contributor to our community. Therefore, as part of the business plan for our dispensary on Fulton Street, we're making the following commitments to our fellow CB1 community members. We will hire from the community. As part of our employment plan, we will target hiring 30% of our staff from CB1. Additionally, we will commit to providing an outstanding workplace for our employees, including starting salaries at $20 per hour. We will shop in the community. We will commit to sourcing as many of the supplies we use in our business from other businesses within CB1. We will support the community. We are currently in discussions to partner with a nonprofit within CB1 to provide 1% of our gross revenue to them to fund initiatives for the CB1 community. We will secure the community. The best way to eliminate the illegal cannabis stores in CB1 is to open legal cannabis stores in CB1. Our store will never sell cannabis to anyone under 21 years of age and will only sell cannabis products from licensed New York producers. We will work with CB1 and other community groups to help overcome the foothold in the market which unlicensed stores currently have. Additionally, we will share our external camera footage with NYPD in order to help protect the neighborhood. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to communicate with you. We look forward to having our store be a contributing community member of CB1.
Okay, I'm gonna start by asking you, 4 residential units in the building, have you reached out to those residential units, and do you have
Yes,
petitions?
they're
of
on the
support?
side, 33 Gold Street. Signed.
What is this? 33 Gold?
Yeah, they've signed the petition.
So 88 Fulton and 33 Gold are kind of effectively the same building.
That's the.
But is that suggesting that you only spoke to the people, the townhouse owners?
They did not.
There's apartments also.
Yeah, I actually know that. So yes, there are several other folks, I believe, that they got signatures from in the building.
Okay,
It's in the,
It's in the packet.
here, it's in the
but it
packet.
sounded like he said he spoke to
No,
four
no, no,
apartments.
but they're the 4 apartments, but there are others.
There's more than 33 Gold, that's correct.
Tammy, can I be heard?
Yes, thank you, Mark.
All right, I'm a member of the board in the CB1, and I also live at, 33 Gold Street. There, seeing your application, but most people in the building have absolutely no idea. Because the poster was posted on the front of the nail salon.
From downtown
Which
school
is
to you.
on the Fulton Street side. It's not the residential entrance to the building. There are 7 floors of apartments in the building, at least 20 apartments on each floor. I spoke to the doorman, I spoke to other people, but people just don't know.
Which,
Because the only place it was posted was on the window, the storefront window of the nail salon.
Well, this is.
To see it, you have to go up the stairs, to Fulton Street. The nail salon just closed, and I didn't see it.
If I may, sir, we have several pictures in the pamphlet of it being on light posts and all over the neighborhood.
So it is all over the neighborhood, but what Morgan is saying is that it's not visible to the residents of the immediate area, meaning the building.
You understand how, again, I do live there, I was in the elevator today, and there were postings in the elevator.
So it does seem
I
odd,
posted them in the elevator, I posted them in the
Okay.
elevator.
but it does seem odd that they're all up and down Fulton Street.
Yeah.
And not in the lobby or vestibule of the building where you plan on putting the establishment. That's a little strange.
And the other thing I would add is that, there are many, there are a growing number of families with school-age children that live at 88, 33 Gold Street. It's become a magnet because of the proximity of the Tech Slip School, the Spruce Street School, and the other schools in the neighborhood. And, I don't think, any of those families who have small school-age children, and I have a school-age child in 3rd grade, knew about this. And the only reason I knew about it is when the nail salon suddenly closed, we went up the stairs, looked at the nail salon, and so what's this green sign on the front of the building? So, and I saw it, and being on the community board, I know what this is about. So, I think it's sort of incumbent upon you to, I put the signs in the elevator so people would know that this is coming and they should be entitled to comment. So I think it would be incumbent upon you to do more outreach to the people who actually live in the building where this is gonna be located.
Did a sign, there was a mother walking with a dog and her daughter that lived in the building. They stood there, they signed, we said, well, this said, they said, I will definitely support.
There are signatures from 33.
Yeah, I thought.
There's quite a few from that.
There are
About 6.
Correct.
But
Is
if you're,
this gonna be where the nail and spa place was, or is this
The nail salon.
yeah,
the Wall Street Bath and Spa?
no,
No.
upstairs, the nail salon.
Okay,
Oh, so it is
so,
up
Same
there.
building as Spy.
Same building, but it's.
Same
upstairs.
building, but yeah, that little like mezzanine looking
But not
area
Faces-
downstairs.
Faces full.
Okay,
The one on the
so
corner.
what kind of, I'm gonna
Yes.
go, there are hands raised, so I'll go around to hands raised, just give me 1 second. Can you, I don't believe the front of that building is handicap accessible, can you explain that?
Yes, so we're actually, there's two entrances. The main one is on the slant, and the other one's on the side, both talking to the landlord to build, accessible, handicap
Right.
ramp to put there.
But there is no handicap access up from the street level at this point,
Not,
No.
because I see nothing but stairs.
yes, there's plans already.
I see interior plans.
It's in the plan there.
Is it one floor in the interior plan or is that two floors?
The lease, this is the lease. Not gonna do this.
We can just finish it off like fast.
With the,
This is school.
the schools, with 3,500.
It depends
Depends
on
where the
where the
entrance.
entrance is, that's whether it's actually 500 feet or it's 485. That's where I'm trying to understand where they're gonna make the entrance. So you're right at a cusp of
Have it in here.
being within 500 feet of a school. So,
Sorry, he was,
You're on the cusp of being within 500 feet of a school.
so we really need to understand where your main entrance will be and where it will not be.
The main
I'd
entrance
imagine
is-
there's certainly within 500 feet of a school. If you look at Dutch Little.
Dutch Little.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about.
Yeah,
Dutch
that's also-
Little
that's true.
is
That's
either
down the street.
485 or 5 and change, depending on where the entrance is, which is why I'm asking, because for the storefront that he's talking about for 88, there's the corner and there's further in, and both of them have staircases, so which,
Right, it's, well, so the establishment is in the middle of, on that mezzanine level,
and what's the address?
facing Fulton Street, between
15.
Fulton and William.
Is it the sponsor? Council?
Between Gold and William.
The nail salon.
So, yeah, that says for
This
lease.
one right on the corner.
no, it's further south.
And
Yes, Patrick,
Apart from the downtown little school, I think there's a school even closer, the Titus School at
Yes,
90,
corner.
100.
Yeah.
Titus is on John and Gold.
I don't want to be disrespectful, and I know everyone is very concerned about the school situation. The way the regulations actually work, and this is what's going on with housing works, if you're not on the same street, that's not how the regulation works. You actually have to be on the same street.
I'd love for you to argue that
Okay.
with us if you'd like, but we are going by education law, not the SLA law.
Okay.
And it talks about 500 feet. It
I
does not
understand.
require exclusive use.
I understand.
Which is why I'm trying to be kind to you and double check where your entrance is because of your, but now I'm gonna take a look for Titus School and see how close you are to that.
What's the school that's on the corner of Cliff and John?
You're outside of the Titus School.
Oh, that's a
It's
date.
550. Fine.
Chase is here.
Yes, it's right there.
That's fine. Very nice.
Not sure.
To your point, Council,
Correct, and they're all.
to your point, the school, the other school we're looking at is on that same street, which is gonna be a
On
problem.
which street, I'm sorry?
It's on Fulton Street. The
It's on
entrance
Fulton,
is
yeah.
on Fulton Street.
Oh, the entrance is on Fulton.
Which one?
The Dutch school, I
Dutch
believe, is
Little.
the entrance on Fulton. But it doesn't matter because we follow state law, not regulations.
Has a,
Alright, so the question is,
Where's the entrance on?
by the way, I noticed, I went through the signatures, I see there are like, maybe 8 or 9 signatures, people on Gold Street. One of them happens to be the doorman of the building, who doesn't live there, but, I noticed that Wilson Rodriguez. is the
I've
doorman
lost-
of the building. So,
Fulton Street.
I think you need to, in my opinion, you need to have more outreach to the residents of the building, so people can, well, yeah, maybe there are a couple more who I missed on the first page. But there's 140 apartments in the building, residential tenants. And, I think that people need to know that this is coming and have a right to express their views.
Okay, I'm hoping there's no more comments, and maybe they take our advice and close this thing. Oh, there's more comments. Really?
sorry, I wish. I missed somebody on the left side who had their hand up, and I apologize because I was trying to look at the map.
I didn't have my hand up, but I guess my question goes back to the one that we dealt with at last month's meeting. There is a requirement that the primary entrance be at street level.
Correct.
Okay, we should note it then.
So that, which again, I don't see anything in your packet that you have handed us that shows that it would be handicapped accessible. And I don't see anything in the packet that shows, because you're supposed to be at ground level, this is, not. Do you have any plans, sir, that you can confirm and show us for accessibility for street level access?
1 second, okay.
He's getting it right now. Happy to answer the question while he's getting it.
I think related to that, she's asking, my big concern was around like the exhaust and if they were gonna actually like do something about that and retrofit it because you are asking for like on-site consumption. And I imagine like people in that building and around that building would have a big parking.
So at this point, the OCM has not released what the regulations will be for on-site consumption, so there's no way for us, it obviously will not happen until they enable those regulations for on-site consumption. There's no way for us to know what the requirements will be, obviously, until they create those regs. But that absolutely is something that my client would do, is meet whatever exhaust regulations are required, absolutely.
What did you?
So one of the things that we ask is that you not actually pursue any other licenses until you return to us to have a discussion on that.
Mhm.
And you say here that you will be closing for 4 buyouts per year. What are those for? Are those for the on-site consumption events, or what kind of buyouts are you?
I would have to bring my client back in to tell you what their intention is for that. I do not know exactly what the intentions are for those. It was simply to be responsive, to let you know that there would be the intention of having some types of small events there. It was disclosed to you that that would be happening.
And what's your, public assembly is only 50?
Over 70 kilograms.
No, I'm looking at their capacity.
Capacity is 50.
I gave you, I could not.
Back. You know, 10 to 15, temporary.
Are you saying buyout?
Well, no, there's a maximum occupancy on any property, and it's not, has anything to do with this man's decision. It's
Correct.
just by the square footage, and it's 74 and over requires a, you know, what Tom is referring to, and you can get temporary versions of those if you want. But those are examined at DOB.
Exactly.
Right,
So he wouldn't apply because he's smaller. Is that what you're saying?
we're saying,
No,
like,
he could hold an event if he wants to have more than 74 people and have DOB examine what's called a temporary public assembly license.
Right.
If he wants to put a tent outside, if he wants to do anything that allows.
There's no room.
Well, I'm just giving you
Yeah,
an example. He'd have to get it up 75 people.
Thank you.
but that would also fall into large venue.
Yeah, but he only has 50.
He's a small space so far, he's only 1,400 square
Over
feet,
75 people.
14.
15 really, yeah.
So, I mean, really, it's about understanding whether or not he's got handicapped accessibility and street level.
Yeah, no.
Betty, do you have any, or Paul, do you have any questions online?
It's supposed to go I got it.
Betty Sanders raised. I can-
Betty, go ahead.
No, I would ask too, since it's a pretty tight space there, have they spoken with the DOT about if they need to put a ramp in, can they get a revocable consent in the very confined space that they have?
Have you spoken with
We
DOT?
haven't yet because this is a discussion with the landlord to be able to do it. And he's gonna work with the landlord to do that.
You don't know if you're gonna be able to do a ramp or not.
Correct, if they figure that out, the landlord, that is correct.
He's sending it to me right now.
Well, but you'd have to go to the Department of Transportation potentially to get revocable consent to get onto the sidewalk because there's not enough space there for a full ADA accessible ramp.
That's correct.
I think this points out another flaw in this whole process, which is we're not here to examine and do a thorough, you know, if he doesn't know that he has to get a local event, or if it's a slam dunk or not, we shouldn't see them until they're all buttoned up with everything. That's my comment. And then otherwise, I think we should move on to the next one. 'Cause we
So
covered all
do
the
you
things.
have a vote to approve or deny?
Oh, I'm gonna go with the room
Or-
on whatever people
So
think.
there
you
are
know,
4 ways you can do it. You can approve with modifications, you can approve, we're gonna do it like a land use. You can deny, or you can deny unless.
Well, we want handicap, so that would be in consideration. We want-
Schools outside of 500 feet.
Yeah,
Oh,
All of the schools are.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Like, Dutch definitely.
Yeah.
And
Titus schools
Titus
This
is
is outside.
outside as
yeah.
well.
And Spruce Street.
And Spruce Street, yeah,
Yeah.
far away.
Far away.
Okay.
Dutch is.
Spruce has its own issues right now.
Dutch is the closest and it's just,
Just another.
it's outside the lines.
No, I think
Okay.
it's inside.
To their
No.
door or their property line.
That's-
To their door, I think is what we're saying.
It's 581 feet, so.
So your school is not a reason to object to it because it complies with the law. Handicapped, ADA accessible is up for grabs.
And we
Well,
would
that you
perfectly
can.
amenable to, approved with, assuming we get the handicap stuff, absolutely.
Mariama.
Wasn't there the ground floor issue? too?
Stop.
Yeah, here's the
Mariama.
ground floor. Yeah, I just wanted to describe for the community, for the committee members, the layout of the building, just for consideration, right? Not to sway you any one way or the other. But the residential entrance to the building is on Gold Street. It's a glass door that lets into a small vestibule that lets into a much larger lobby. So there was plenty of space and places in there to hang these signs. They didn't only have to be hung on Fulton Street, out of the way. And then there are 4 doors that I think he was mentioning, that are like the townhouses that are adjacent, right, also on Gold Street. And then on Fulton Street is like the commercial side where this place would be. And there are lower level establishments and there's like a mezzanine. And then that's where, right in the center, is where the nail salon is located on the mezzanine level.
If I could add to what Mariama said, the basement used to be a Thai restaurant. The Thai restaurant has been out of business for years.
But he's not taking,
He's
No,
not
no, but
taking
What I'm
that.
saying is that there's no traffic in the base, past that, into that basement. The nail salon closed, the other stores, there are some new, small takeout restaurants, but they're remote from the corner, which was the entrance to the nail salon. There were 2, of these signs that were posted up the stairs,
Yep.
shaded by the awning,
Signs.
that unless you went up there to look at it, you didn't know what it was. And those were the only 2 signs that were
That's the
posted
back
in
door.
proximity to
Right.
the entrance of the residential, space. I go, in- I think.
Okay, I think we don't need to know the rest of it. Jared, and then Susan, and then, Jason, and then me.
You know, what I would say is that personally, my only hesitation is the fact that it's not at street level and the notion of giving out a limited a state license that's in limited quantity to something that's not fully accessible does not sit perfectly with me, but the but is, despite the qualms that people have with the posting of the notices, they do have a not insignificant amount of supporters, and we've seen plenty of other applications with far less. And at some point, these stores are coming, they have to go somewhere. Fulton is a major a commercial thoroughfare. It doesn't have the school issue. There are only so many places that we're gonna find that, you know, there's no perfect location. And I don't want perfection to be the enemy of good.
That is an absolutely perfect
Yes, right.
explanation.
He got it.
Yeah,
Susan, you're
Yeah,
good?
I'm good with that, except, and I think the ground level is the issue.
So, and
I'm okay now. Jared swayed me to not say anything.
so this would be a yes with condition that they fix the handicapped accessibility. If the handicapped accessibility cannot be fixed, we
Then it's-
recommend denial.
That's
correct.
I have a,
So this is a yes with conditions.
And you've heard, and you can vote
Brandon?
no, Mort.
but I have a
Mort, hold
question.
on, I did not recognize you because you've spoken, Brandon.
I was gonna ask if we can add it to condition that, like, we absolutely require that they come back once the on-site consumption laws come out. Because like, those
Absolutely.
places above there have outdoor seating and
Yeah.
patios. They don't wanna smell that, and we wouldn't think of doing that without.
Yeah, well,
Absolutely.
yes.
I would tell you that, what does the committee feel about 4 buyouts a year per?
Seems like a lot.
I think if we can limit it to 2 or 1.
First year.
Hear more about what the intention is actually.
What is your intention on the buyouts, and is that before or after you have your cannabis events license and on-site consumption?
Yeah.
We'll take 2. I'll answer for my client. We'll take 2.
No.
Buyouts for what though, I guess is the.
To have, to the point within the, limit of the people that can be in the store. There are just events that happen. People,
So-
they'll say, so like, for example, at
Right.
Pond Bud on Delancey, Mike Tyson was there recently releasing his new product. That would be a buyout, so to speak, a new product launch, some things of that nature.
We're not liking that.
All right, so the question that we have is we've asked you to return to the board before you do a on-site consumption license
Yes.
and an event organizer. Based on the board's feelings, as I understand them and from what I've heard, we would say that we would grant you 2 event licenses that do not include on-site consumption. They are event licenses that are commensurate with RDOs. So if it's, Mike Tyson doing a pop-up and it's a sales thing and a private event for that, that's fine. But this is not a buyout that would be included for on-site consumption parties.
I mean, I think that,
Understood?
that's understood.
Yes.
And again, we absolutely will come back to you before we did any type of furthering with OCM to have, the limited on-site consumption that's allowed there.
So just a question about because you more know that there won't be music. So you would do a buyout without, you'd have an event without amplification or?
Just we keep it inside the perimeters of the space, not blasting the music.
Well, but that's. you
That's
said no.
music.
So,
Recorded music, no live music.
well, that's the question then,
Okay.
specifically, actually.
Yeah, what you'd say and keep it to recorded music and no live music.
Background music only.
Yeah.
And background music means that it cannot be heard when the door is closed outside the building.
Yeah.
It's not a concert.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Colin?
Just 2 quick points. I know this is a long shot, but I would imagine children's services counts as.
It does not.
Yeah, okay.
It does not.
The other question is, do you have any mock-ups? As someone who's very concerned about small business, other small businesses in that area, I'd like to know what it looks like.
He does have. muscle.
Yeah. I've got it.
It's a floor plan, not a mock-up.
Yeah.
Yeah, this small.
Small space.
It's one,
Oh.
this is just one floor, right? Just 2 views of
Correct.
the
It's
same
just
space.
turned, it's just turned on the side.
Right.
Correct.
Yeah,
Look,
they
this,
can
So-
barely put 50 people
We
in there.
have always said that we do agree that there would be no queuing outside the building and your security would ensure that people would gather for queuing on the interior of the space.
And no neon lights.
So, I mean, I think that's.
They're not allowed to.
No, they're not.
Do you understand what we're asking?
We do understand what you're asking, and we will commit to doing what we can. I mean, obviously, we can't tell people that are there, leave, but absolutely, we will control the crowd. Like, if people are congregating there in front of the store, we can't call the cops or make them leave, right?
If,
However,
Yeah, you
there will be
you
security.
have security
We're gonna have
and,
security and they will.
and
be-
the front line of your
Absolutely.
property
Yes.
includes that ramp
Yes,
and the little area outside
Yes.
until they get to the sidewalk.
until they get to the.
So you absolutely, positively can ensure that they are not congregating underneath the overhang, potentially sampling the stuff that they just took.
Mm.
And
I agree with on their property. I was referring more to the sidewalk. Like, we can't prevent people being on the sidewalk, that's all.
Could I say?
Betty, you go first and then Mort.
Thank you. I just make a comment too, that they talk about in their application that they have ADA accessible bathroom, and that's not true. They may have an exemption for some reason that they don't have to make theirs accessible, but there's no way that there's space next to the toilet. There are no grab bars or anything for people who use those. There's really nothing. Other than maybe the turning space.
Yeah.
I can't tell.
Yeah, sorry, can you speak up and?
Yes, so once we get in and start renovating the place, we're gonna put the grab bar, the handicap safety, everything is gonna be there.
But they're not
Including
there
the
on the plan
space?
now that.
Yes, because this is wall plans we made, but we have to get literally physically to go inside and do the renovation, and then there's gonna be stuff added to this.
What happened with Jerry?
Could I say that be added to the ifs?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's yes, as long as the site includes
At least one
accessibility,
accessible.
Yeah.
accessible access to the site
And
because it's not there, and ADA accessible bathrooms as they are not shown in the application.
Has to conform with all accessibility laws, federal,
Yeah.
state, and city.
Thank you.
Are we ready for a motion?
Yeah, let's do it.
And there are 2 buyouts per year that do not include on-site consumption.
Correct.
I said I would recognize Morton, and then we have a motion on the floor.
Okay.
Jared has his.
One thing I would also note is that the hours of operation from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m., 7 days a week.
That's,
That's 70.
that's what we can approve, 70 hours, that's what we can.
70 hours, we are allowed.
All right, but, to have it, open on weekends, up to 8 p.m., it seems unreasonable to me. The other thing is that there has been a condition at the building because of the vacancy of the restaurant, for years. And it's downstairs, the location is up the stairs, but there's also this downstairs area which is hidden from the street. People have been coming there and smoking marijuana at all hours, especially after dark.
But
And-
that's not their problem.
That's not,
They're a small business, they're a business who's gonna try and make it better in the neighborhood.
Talk to the.
They don't control, talk to the landlord, they have to get to, or call security.
yeah.
This space, make it a pop.
Call,
Make
call.
it work.
First person.
Go to street wall.
The,
The first
the
precinct,
building
exactly.
has absolutely struggled with that, and people have.
Well,
Yeah.
Call the counseling, call the downtown
not
alliance,
them.
that's also their
That's
their
not them.
area.
They're gonna try, no
Jared.
matter,
Jump in, otherwise.
Yeah, it's just a quick question. This application, just for the purpose of tracking it, this application was in the window that ended December 18th?
November 17th,
November.
because it's a non-provision with a, and with a location.
Got it. So 17th, and so you haven't been assigned a number yet.
Oh, no, we're in the queue.
You are in the queue. You
Yeah.
haven't assigned a number.
What's the number? I think it's, if I'm not mistaken, 1574 or 76.
2,300.
Yeah, 2,300 roughly.
2300.
What is likelihood that you'd be selected for that one?
Yes, that we recognize.
There's a lot of applicants.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Somebody from the public.
yeah. So, yeah, you
I
can't, sorry.
appreciate the questions, but you need to be recognized and
You
raise your hand.
sign in if you wanna speak, if you wanna speak, great.
Yeah, he's one of the applicants.
Okay, great.
All right, so we have everything with all our steps, confirming with all city and state laws for accessibility, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. 2 buyouts that do not include on-site consumption, and they will return.
So I make a motion to.
Yeah.
Vote.
Seconded by Jason.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
we're gonna run by affirmation, which means everybody's a yes unless you oppose. So are there any opposed? Are there any abstentions? Mahoney abstains.
I'm gonna abstain. I don't know if I even had a vote, but I'm not a member.
You don't. Thank you, then. Are there any recusals? Hearing none, motion passes. Welcome to the neighborhood. We really hope you are as good of a neighbor as you claim you will be.
Thank you very much. We appreciate your time tonight.
Thank you.
Would you like us to leave you the additional documents?
No.
No.
Yeah.
We like
Yeah.
reminders, thank you.
Like, yeah, we like their,
okay.
Next up is giving that, 88 Fulton, Bud Nation, thank you very much. We're gonna go back to BWA Beads. They were scheduled for December. We have somebody online and somebody here.
They
Thank you.
postponed till next time.
They should probably take
But this is the community's opposition
They were taking it.
for our next.
Do we have copies of that application?
They're supposed to provide.
Do we have copies? I do not know.
Do we have copies of BWA Beads, the application?
Yeah, you're the gentleman over there.
All right.
I haven't seen it, but.
Here we go, we'll hand them out, sorry.
I was already here before I got here.
I'm gonna start by asking the first question based on the last question. Do you have an assigned lottery number yet?
Yeah, we have a signed lottery number, I believe, I'll look right now, but it's, around 876, I believe.
876?
Correct.
You know, you get put in the lottery and you get told that you have a number. I gave
And
one.
real estate applicants here. She was immunocompromised from the last meeting, which is here on camera.
So everybody needs to understand for the committee's benefit, they could not be in person last time because COVID sensitive. And our office team last month tested positive for COVID. And, we had many people who were sick, so I can share with
Can you
you.
have the Wi-Fi password? Because he's trying to get on the presenter here. Like, somebody share a guest password?
Not usually, but back.
No, but
You don't have to.
Yeah.
Finish it.
I think. I don't have it in front of me.
This is 386 Canal Boulevard.
A little bit.
Look at that.
The other side.
This is already there.
Here.
Can never be.
Okay, so
You went on there.
Hand it out?
let's hear from our.
No, well, I mean, I just want, just access, it's fine.
Yeah. The handout's fine, I don't need it.
Okay, so
2, 6, 6, 9.
Acid reflux.
CP 1.
Acid reflux.
Okay, Rachel Bryant, who is the proprietor. So you can unmute yourself. Welcome to Community Board One.
Hello, Council. How is everyone doing today? Thank you for seeing us. My name is Rachel Bryant, and I'm a native member of the Choctaw Nation. I've been working in the wellness industry for over 7 years, and I'm looking to expand that industry by going into cannabis. I've helped and open and manage multiple successful spa locations in the past 7 years. And given the opportunity, I'm looking forward to bringing a spa-like experience into selling through opening a cannabis dispensary here in New York. So we can go ahead and take the floor. Let's discuss it out.
Okay, how about schools? So first and foremost.
Are you here any schools?
Yeah, that's our
Yeah.
first question.
I did not know this.
So we went through this last time. 386 Canal, is a complex of buildings. The ones that they are looking for are the ones that are mocked up here with the entrance, which is not on Canal Street. It's actually on the side street.
Yes.
Because it is on the side street, it is like 502
Oh, we
feet
did this one.
from
okay.
the school. We did the work on this, I believe, last time.
Mm-hmm.
Which schools though?
Yeah, which school is it?
One on the alley in St. John's.
Oh, I know that. Okay, near that, under that Enrique Norton building. Yeah, okay. It's certainly a remote place. I know Canal Street, I'll just speak as someone who's like transversed that a million billion times from home to work. You know, there's burger joints there, there's taco place there, that little triangulated property almost seems like in the middle of nowhere, even though it's in the middle of the center of the universe at the same time. But, so if, you know, if we can't get them on, if we can't get the school thing going, what's the next, you know, rung on the ladder that we check over? It's a woman-owned business, it sounds like, that's a positive.
Yeah.
American.
Yeah, indigenous is perfect, that's a plus.
Are the hours at 70?
Let's make sure.
So I just want to confirm, because initially we did come with different hours.
That's
Yeah, my name is Tim. So I'm the attorney for Rachel. I also represent about a quarter of the legal market. I'm teaming the largest dispensary here in New York. A few locally and big operations, and entertainers like Travis Scott and Mike Tyson, those people. Rachel is one of my favorite clients, even though she's homebound. She's been working in wellness for 7 years, as she mentioned. She would like to expand that operation to, social services and cannabis. The biggest wrinkle here is that the location where she's looking to site her dispensary is already an illegal dispensary.
Correct.
Yeah.
It's fun to be honest, in the community for the last
Correct.
2 years.
That's a real picture.
So that's a real picture. The
Yep.
company's called Elevated. The actual location is a legal dispensary. We already had issues putting up posters on the premise because they took them down, put them back up.
Mm,
You know, these guys were, very, very combative operators. The landlord, which, I'm sure you guys are not familiar with, with New York City landlords, more than happy to rent out the legal dispensary.
He is well aware.
Yeah,
that
well
it
aware,
is-
but also once, the evictions happen, he's gonna flip and then rent it out for more money to a legal dispensary.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
he's eating hand interest, right? So that's neither here nor there, but Rachel had a broker that walked around the community from being Soho, from Flatiron. Finally, they found this building. the broker mentioned several times that the city will enforce the rules back in, August. And then, September and October, we signed the LOI, that it will no longer be an issue. It's still there. That's our biggest concern is like how, if we're selected for a license, how do we evict an already illegal operator? And that's where we stand here right now. But she has no rhyme or reason connection to the legal operator. Only the broker who, got the release from the landlord, whose name is Jordan Forrester.
So I actually, as part of our office due diligence, did call and, they are. I thought the sheriff's. I have a real question that I
Sure.
want to ask,
Yeah.
and I'm not sure if I'm allowed to ask it in the way that I need to.
You
So
can
I'm
speak
gonna
locally.
ask,
I think
who's actually running the store? If we have people who are immunocompromised, which we all understand, does that who would be running the store? Because it says Rachel Bryant is the principal and operator, but if you can't attend a meeting ever with people in a small space, how do you?
She's in the hope that obviously after winter comes, it's usually a seasonal thing, just because we had RCV and COVID, that was kind of resurging this year, that this will no longer be an issue. And it wasn't, she was out and about in the spring, that's when I first met her.
So who runs the?
So there's
business
a
in the
general
winter?
manager, so the way it usually works in cannabis operations, when we have a principal, like the owner of a business, like an owner of a restaurant, we have the general manager run the store. That is a hired position, sometimes at equity or revenue share, but they're hired to perform a role to manage the operation, manage the staff. Generally speaking, a lot of the open dispensaries, including, strain stores, Housing Works, they have general managers and budtenders who've worked in licensed establishments in California and Colorado and Massachusetts. So there's gonna be a big market for those folks to come again, work in New York, there's new dispensaries, and, they'll make a decent salary, well over 6 figures, managing, what should be a multi-million-dollar operation, depending if, these legal stores get shut down, because otherwise they don't work much. So she'll be, like any kind of owner of a business, she'll be having her manager and then the staff. But she'll also be on site at least 9 months out of the year, hopefully 12 months next year if there's no resurgence in COVID. I see everyone here is masked up, and so I'm not masked up right now, but it's a real issue.
The COVID exposure last night.
That's why we're all masked.
I've had it 5 times. I'm
Yeah.
basically like Wuhan Tiger. Like,
Yeah.
Okay, let's go around the room. We're gonna start with Brendan, Mariama, Colin.
Couple of things. I went back and forth on the hours. I think we should negotiate that. Like, I know it's in like this very like high visibility, like high traffic place, but I don't know, the like 11 made me feel a little iffy even on the weekends, and like knowing that there's like basically like a club across the street, like it's gonna get really crazy. Other thing is, I think there was something in the application, I don't have it in front of me, around like a signage, and like, I don't think I think signage is very specific to ACM, and it basically is like, it's like, they don't want a lot of signage, other than to say this is a legal cannabis shop. And then the third piece, which I totally forgot, but it was actually more relevant than anything, which was around, I thought that was actually either in the law or one of our like reasonings that like, we were not gonna support landlords that already had illegal places in it. Like, I know that this group is not a part of it, but like, I don't wanna put money into this person's like pocket. And I know it's hard to get spaces, but like, screw this person that has a legal business and now he's about to get legal money, like, I don't wanna support that.
I mean, listen, I agree with you 100%. I'd rather not put a dollar in this guy's pocket. The biggest issue here is that 8 out of 9 property managers, a few of like landlords here, are printing money, hosting to illegal shops all across the city, which is the biggest issue. Now, those shops can convert to legal dispensaries, or at least have the ability to do so. That would open up so much space, and no one's competing over properties, 1,000-feet buffers, and the whole nine. And then the market would go down in terms of like rental prices, and folks actually make a business instead of being charged 30, 40 grand a month for like,
Well,
tiny
they
stuff.
legally can't, because we would immediately actually turn it down. Like, if the Bed and Beyond and Bud, whatever it's called, came here, we would say no, because you are.
Oh, absolutely, yeah, they're legal
Yeah,
dispensary
right,
operators, and they should be
but I
going to jail as opposed to anything else, but that's.
Right, stop. Brendan, you've been heard.
Yes.
I will tell you that board members of this board went and reported this location to OCM, and we've heard nothing.
And it hasn't been inspected or it's rated, or anything.
Going this way.
So we know that the governor's order
Have
that,
you done a walkthrough of this site?
yeah,
for
yeah,
your
I was
client?
there like 2 weeks ago. like, when
Can
we
you
first set up.
explain about, we'll create ADA accessible bathrooms if there are none on site, so is there an ADA accessible bathroom on site? Yes or
I
no?
went inside, there's a bathroom on site. I tried to go in it, they didn't let me go in it because, you know, I wasn't there to buy cannabis, I was just kind of sniffing around. If there is not an ADA accessible bathroom, we're gladly stipulate that to do that. Again, I'm working on a separate proposal, with the state legislator to find landlords liable, for this behaviors.
Let's just talk about this application.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
But again, here, the signage issue is, you know, we don't want to do what they did with the big button beyond. Rachel mentioned she wants to make it very discreet, frosted glass, no activity inside the operation could be seen. That's in the application under exhibit 2. So again, we don't want to
So you
invite,
have a waiting room inside, correct?
yeah, so like no one's queuing outside, everyone's waiting inside, and the whole focus there is to be delivery oriented. And I think Housing Works, their biggest delivery day was like 40 deliveries a day. I think I mentioned that here in the last meeting, which is really low for Manhattan. If you transition to focus on delivery, it's gonna be less folks walking to the store, less issues with, you know, security, privacy, underage contact. And, you know, it should be just almost like a delivery depot, and that's what a lot of these stores should become down the line.
Okay, Mariama? You go around the table, so Mariama, Jared, Susan, Jim.
I'm presuming that the proprietor, referenced her, native ancestry as,
They did.
as part of the application to
Yes.
suggest that she's applying as a minority. And I just didn't want to assume, I wanted to be clear on that.
It's on
It's in the
yours.
application.
That's-
It is the application.
It's in the online application. You have to-
Identification.
Okay,
Yeah, and we brought her ID. card.
okay.
After Mariama, around the table, Jared.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say, I don't think the location itself is bad, but I don't think it's more than 500 feet from the Tribeca Learning Center.
That's
And
what Jared's just saying, he doesn't think it's.
It's very close, yeah.
I don't think it's that close, if memory serves.
It's
You don't-
just outside the limit, because the entrance to that school is over by the corner of St. John.
Right.
It's
And
in
you-
the middle of the block.
Right, but even if you went from the corner of York, you have to go to Sixth and then around over to West Broadway, up towards Canal, it passes the 500 point.
Oh, it's not a direct line?
No.
You have to walk there.
It's a walk
Okay.
on.
Yeah.
There's
that
no
makes
school in
sense.
Soho, just north.
I don't know if there's a school just north, as somebody had indicated there might be, but I'm not certain.
If it's not on that block on West
Yeah.
Broadway, then it's over 5.
64?
You know,
not up to you.
there could be,
It's up to the truck
could be one in Soho. that's where-
House of worship, is that okay?
Not that
Yeah.
it'd be up to me to decide, it's just
So long as it's more than 200 feet.
harmful to minorities.
We're having to do a simulation, we'll do a surveyor.
She's a
to make sure it's over
Yeah, I don't think
500.
I'm in with-
Okay. We'll take a-
Yeah.
It's done, you're on, we'd like your survey. Mimi and Susan, Mimi.
Well, yeah, I appreciate the application. I'm from the Fort Worth area, so I'm seeing somebody from Dallas. I also have, I grew up around, not around the Choctaw Nation, but I do appreciate, I have a lot of friends that are from Oklahoma, in the region, but I honestly forgot what I was going to say. Oh, I don't think we should, penalize a new tenant.
Yeah.
Like, I think that the applicant, you know, selecting location, that knowing that we would potentially penalize, like, I don't think it would be fair for us to penalize the applicant for, this location.
Okay.
Or to try to like punish the landlord through, through the
I
applicant.
think it's great that they led with it, to be honest.
That they what?
They led with it.
Yeah, it's on the front.
I mean, Bed Bath & Beyond should take issue with it.
Oh, yeah, no, I don't have a problem with
They
the
would.
applicant.
Okay.
Okay.
Anything else, Mimi?
That's it.
Susan?
I wanted to ask Brenda, the hours that I have, they don't have, Sunday and Saturday hours listed. I have,
Yeah, they
Monday
do.
through Sunday.
Oh,
you have,
I missed
noon
it.
to 10 PM. right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sunday
definitely,
to
happy
Thursday.
to do
I have
that.
this one. is
Or
when
change
I-
the hours again.
No, it's on the floor.
Yeah, therefore, this is correct. The petition form, they're gonna do
Noon
noon to 10 p.m., 7 days a week.
Okay.
Which we're happy to change based on the
Native
public
American
ordinance. Because we did know the club across the street. Again, when I walk by,
My mother was
on the ground.
Do people think 11 to 9 is better?
11 to 9 is
I actually-
better.
For whatever reason, I thought it was,
It's
in my,
fine,
might
so
be
you can
confusing.
tell it
I thought they
they're
were
not getting the
talking
licenses.
about
No.
that. I'm actually okay
A
with
brown
10.
face
I like
glass room
10.
in
I
the
don't
morning.
want 11.
Good.
We're good.
Since we started this.
Okay, after Susan was Colin. Colin, good, Justine.
Quick question. So looking on the page that starts with there will be music,
I see she's recognized.
I'm you're doing deliveries, right?
We're
And-
gonna let-
And then you're gonna have 3 e-bikes. You're parking them outside, it says here?
I mean, based on the new city regulations, like unless it's like lithium, no lithium battery, you
Right.
can't park them inside.
Correct.
So it has to be a sustainable e-bike, whatever the city council rules on, that's what we'll have. But we don't plan.
Where are
to
you
bring
parking
outside.
them?
I mean, outside, like there's,
Where? There's no, the outside would be the public access. way,
Rachel,
the
where
sidewalk.
are we parking the bikes? I mean, I don't know where the bikes go.
Rachel?
Hello, sorry. Bikes will be parked either around the side or wherever access is allowed for them to be that would make sense. So
I mean, the hope is that they're not really parked, they're constantly on the go.
No.
Yeah,
But you're gonna have overnight parking, right? What are you gonna do?
Will you
Oh.
agree to a request that they are not parked on the sidewalk?
100%.
they will not be parked on the sidewalk.
So there's no.
And do you have an agreement? I don't know who operates the park that's next to the building. Do you know if that belongs to the landlord or is that a op or a
That's a
city
that's a public park.
public park?
Yeah,
It
it's
is.
a little triangle thing where you walk into. the
Yeah.
park.
Yeah, we know.
It's in sad shape, but
It's,
Yeah, we
is there
probably
a
don't-
bike rack there?
There's a city bike thing a few blocks away, but they don't, city hasn't put a lot
Look
of
at
money
my-
into bike racks, since the city bike got involved here.
I mean, if there's
Yeah,
already a
really,
bike
they
rack,
have
that's
to.
great. If there's not, I wouldn't
We
want to
just,
stop
we
there.
just want them to guarantee that they won't be on the
Sidewalk, that makes sense. And I think that was it. I think everything else fits for me.
Maddie has a motion.
Betty?
Thanks. In terms of the bike parking, which wasn't what my original question, you can go to the DOT to ask if you want placement of bike racks, and they would be in the parking lane. Also, if you want to go over to the extreme of getting something like the covered parking and sponsor it, that's also an option for you, depending how much you're protective of your own bicycles. My original question, though, was to go back to the application, just to clarify, it has to do with the bathroom access. And what it says in the application is, and I quote, "There's a small landing on the second floor accessed by stairs that contain a bathroom for employees, customers, and public use." Is that, I apologize, I can't read the architect's drawings, which are also included. It looks like the bathroom that's sketched on there would certainly have the turning radius and has a space and be ideal in many ways. But is that on a landing or are you looking to put something on the first floor?
It's a mini landing, but the water line goes from, based on our talk with an architect that worked in the building, that we had to get to, not through the land, but through the broker, because the legal operators won't let us talk to them. There's a water line that goes from the second floor down to the first floor, and because they have a big setback where they have their register with, some drinks and, the legal cannabis behind the register, you can put a bathroom on the first floor and make that as wide to be accessible for a wheelchair or motorized wheelchair. So, if the bathroom would have to move from the second floor to the first floor to be ADA accessible, which again, we're happy to do because the place will need some renovation, even though it's kind of like walk-in friendly, because it's already a dispensary, which is a legal one, but to make it ADA accessible, we have to put that on the first floor.
And you.
Right, then I would just make that a condition, Tammy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got you, Betty. That's great. Thank you. for
Thank you.
catching that. I would also like to make a condition that you apply to the DOT for parking the bikes in the parking spot in front of the store. I will tell you for your own benefit, it would help because if you look at any current photos or you go to the store, the people who park in front of your store currently are Transit District 2 cars, which park on the sidewalk and the parking
Of cops,
spaces of cops.
Mhm.
They park, yeah, all in front. So
help us not to let the cops park.
Yeah,
On the
Yeah.
sidewalk.
because it's illegal parking, right? Yeah.
we would ask that you,
Talking to the right person, that's fine. We'll put bike racks up and down that street.
that
Yeah.
if, would ask that you would apply to have the bikes parked from DOT and legal bike
We got a lot of
parking.
people at DOT, we'll figure that out, that's fine.
Betty, you'll send me the wording on that? For the bike parking from, request to DOT?
Yeah, that's just a matter of them asking, or again, if you want to sponsor something like an uni pod so that you can have indoor secured parking. I know you can do that, but there needs to be a sponsor because the DOT doesn't allow advertising, which uni depends on if there is no sponsor.
Okay, yep, if you'll just send me that, that's great. Jared, and I think we're getting close to winding this down.
Yeah, this is just a quick question, I noticed that Rachel, your address is different on the community board, questionnaire and the lease is not that old, I mean, what is the story there?
Rachel, about you moving for your.
You just move, if you just.
You're based in Brooklyn, how you moved and.
The address is different where? I'm so sorry. Can you repeat the question?
Just on the question, I mean, the answer may be that you moved.
Oh, yeah, I moved. Yeah, sorry. I recently moved. I'm so sorry. I recently got married and I also recently moved.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Recommendation or whatever.
Yeah, let's, I would
Okay,
move that.
so this is a recommendation I think that Jason's trying to get to.
Mhm.
Where is her current address? Where's,
Rachel, what's your
Which one's
current
the current
address now? Which one's right?
Just say the street name, you know.
Yeah, just a street name. You don't have to say your whole address. Just tell us.
Oh,
which
sorry.
one's right.
I'm on 8th Avenue.
okay, in Brooklyn?
Yes, in Brooklyn.
Okay, thank you.
Yes,
All right,
sorry.
and so this is a motion to approve, if I understand the feeling of the board, tell me if I'm right. The conditions that go on this is the bathroom gets moved to the first floor and is ADA accessible. 12 noon to 10 PM, 7 days a week is okay. The host is going to provide a surveyor to ensure the distance to no local schools.
Specifically the Tribeca.
The Tribeca Learning Center, and we'll take a look at anything that's in Soho, which is just north of us, our CB neighbors. They will affirm that they will guarantee that there are no bikes parked on the sidewalk. And they will apply to DOT for bicycle parking, availability in the parking in front of their building.
Sorry, one last thing, it might be nothing, but there's a Betty Ford, I don't know if it's center or office, literally.
It's called Hazelden, so I've been sober for 8 years, so I go there for morning meetings like twice a week, it is, yeah.
It doesn't make a difference, anything, alright,
Yeah.
fine.
Okay, awesome.
I also have, no music emanating from the business.
We want no music, this is not gonna be a loud cultural experience, you go in there, you get your cannabis and you leave.
And you'll return to the board for any change in
If
operating
we
hours.
get selected for a license, we will be back here the next week, the next board meeting to talk about it, again, it's a lottery.
No, to change operating hours.
Oh, yeah.
You
yeah.
agree to come back.
Whatever you
to
guys
the board.
want us.
Great, thanks.
Awesome. So with all that no's, I think we're good. We'll vote by affirmation. Do I have any no's? Do I have any abstentions?
It's the only one I actually liked.
Hey, do I hear any recusals? With none, motion passes. Thank you very much.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Well,
Congratulations.
Thank you so much, council.
Thank you for your flexibility.
Yep, thank you.
All right.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, but I'm listening.
I hear
I
you.
appreciate all of you guys.
Yeah.
I don't remember signing up to review all these applications when we started.
Yeah, okay, pass these out. This is for Omni Urban.
On the urban 310 Canal Street.
Correct.
I think we can give those.
Okay, I leave.
Thank you, Gary.
Good evening, everybody.
Well,
Would you prefer I sit or stand?
Doesn't live.
All right,
Stand, actually.
all right, perfect.
That way you're well on camera.
As long as you can project into this thing.
Projection.
Of each other thing.
So we will note, there is do you have your lottery number?
We filed on the last day for applications. We do not have a lottery.
So the way it works, unfortunately, for the board who looks and says, wow, this is really close to the last one. Depending on what your lottery number is, depends on whether you get heard. So we have to review all of them and it's a crapshoot. So if the other applicant gets heard and approved and goes through, then they get to the plate first. Then supposedly OCM will not approve these guys because they're within 1,000.
Yeah.
I understand.
But the,
386 and 310, that's.
Okay, so welcome. Floor is yours.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Evan Greenberg, and I am the attorney for Omni Urban. With me this evening is Gustavo Salcedo of Jackson Heights, New York, native New Yorker. Gustavo and his father are the two members of Omni Urban. Gustavo has been involved in property management with CSIA management for over 20 years throughout the city of New York. He is very familiar with DOB requirements and landmarks requirements and all the things that are necessary to accommodate landmarks as this building falls within the Tribeca East Historic District. I don't know if you are all familiar, but particularly this block on Canal Street, which is located, I believe, between Church and Broadway, has been riddled since COVID with illegal counterfeiting operations and on-the-street drug sales by whoever, whatever illegal street vendors have sought to place themselves on the corners that make up Canal Street in that intersection. Specifically, the first precinct of the New York City Police Department has taken great enforcement measures on that block to clean it up to the best of their ability. What we're trying to do is we are trying to legalize that operation. If you look on that block, on the southerly side of the street, it consists of 13 buildings at present. They all have commercial storefronts, except for, I believe, the bank on the corner.
This one?
The block is littered with graffiti. Only 4 of the storefronts are actually rented.
You don't need to sell us on the neighborhood. You need to sell us on your business.
The business is gonna be retail only. There is not gonna be, closeouts or buyouts. It's simply going to be, come into the store's at ground level. Store has a bathroom. We're ready to file building plans. In those building plans is an ADA accessible bathroom. Because it's a landmark building, we have an architect lined up to have signage that is in conformity with the New York City landmarks requirements for signage on that particular building. We want to actually make the facade of the building landmark and in conformity with landmarks, and then the interior of the building historically looking. The way that the interior store is going to look as it did many years ago with the aluminum tin roof and the whole nine. It is going to be purely retail sales. There will be no gatherings. The purpose is to rehabilitate the dilapidated block.
It's pretty dilapidated.
I can go through with you the positive influences that a retail dispensary has had on neighborhoods. I can provide you studies of the tax benefits, but it seems that me being the third person here this evening to present, I think you guys already know. I'm happy to take any questions that you may have with respect to the application.
I think your Sunday hours need to be 11 to 5 if you've adjusted correctly, because if you're 11 to 9, Monday through Thursday, that's 40 hours.
I think
Friday
that,
and Saturday is 11 to 11 on your thing. That's 24 hours. I mean, my math is my math, but.
That's 64 hours.
That's
So you
64.
only have
That leaves
6.
you 6 hours left for Sunday.
on this one, that my paralegal fixed, because when
Oh,
we
yeah,
actually
yeah.
put in the application, it says 11 to 5 for Sunday.
Is that a 5?
It's a 5, and that's her handwriting, and I apologize.
No
Yes, it is
problem.
5.
What is this?
I still push back on the till 11 o'clock at night, especially on Canal.
So
11 to 9, 11 to
would you consider closing at 10 and then Sunday till 7?
4, yeah.
Is that all right with you? Yes, that's fine.
Okay, so Friday and Saturday, you're gonna close at 10
10.
PM.
And is this accessible, ADA accessible?
Yes, it is at ground level.
And
But
then
there is a step.
Sunday.
There's a step, but we have plans to actually remove the step and make it a.
Oh,
make it
hang on, you're in a
at grade.
landmark building.
Right.
You are permitted to make it at grade, and we have plans to do so.
And that's
So
a,
you will need to come back to us and appear in our
Yeah.
landmarks committee.
Oh, that's fine. That's no problem. We have a whole plan.
and that's a tight sidewalk, so.
I'm actually told, I'm sorry to
Yeah,
interrupt you, we have pre-approval.
Okay, so we have a pre-approval, we have an approval from Landmarks to do the entire storefront and the windows and to lower the storefront.
When did you apply to landmarks?
So Landmarks, so pre-pandemic, we got the approval. It's different than the. In terms of, the building got the approval pre-pandemic, and then the landlord explained that because of the pandemic, they decided not to add a floor. So they decided to go back to Landmarks, not add a floor, but work for a new project based on what they got approved back in 2007.
Did we see a landmarks application for,
310 Canal.
for 310 Canal to change the front of the building? By the building owner? Because I don't either. And they said that. Yeah, they said that they went to
Didn't
landmark.
come before us.
That's not, maybe they mean the actual landmark preservation.
He said in.
Did you get a
2020
staff level approval? Is that what it was?
Oh, 2017, so.
Do you have a permit number?
7308
Or a certificate of no effect?
November 2016 for an application for a rooftop addition.
Rooftop
A
edition.
rooftop edition.
That's what,
But that's what they were saying. They said that there was a.
They were gonna add a floor and then not adding a floor.
that was November 22, 2016.
Hold on, Patrick, what did we pass?
November 2016, it was hang on.
In 2016.
An application for a rooftop addition.
That's the only thing that's come before the board. Okay, so we'll have them,
That's expired by now? Well, maybe they did it.
that would be expired by now, yeah. So,
He said it
Unless they
took, they
removed
took
it.
that and went back to landmarks.
Baker's plan, 2015, try to reinstate them, but without the rooftop addition. And
so permits last 5 years. So what we'd love to know is if you got staff level approval for whatever plan you have or what your permit number is, okay? All right, thanks, Jason. Bye. Yeah. Because the landmark building should have appeared before us for consideration whether it was done at staff level approval. If it was done at staff level approval, then you would still have a permit number.
Our understanding, because we have,
Just provide it.
understood.
Understanding from landlord and what is actual for city agency could be two different things. We just need to see, show me,
Show me the
yeah,
plan. I got it.
where's the beef? Show me the money.
I've said before.
And the permit number, whatever.
It has to be to us before full board Tuesday.
Now, do we have to appear again?
No,
No,
Person? Okay, so all I have to do is email
You're welcome to.
the,
you're welcome to come. If there are any questions, if you'd like to answer them at the full board.
okay, that's fine.
You are not able to speak unless recognized, unless there's need from the committee for further clarification.
Okay,
Okay?
so Tuesday, 6 PM, same back time, same back time.
But
No.
Downstairs, 19
we'll be
floor.
on, no.
no, we'll be on.
The mezzanine.
Oh, the mezzanine.
Okay, so we need to see for the landmark stuff, everything that you have for the ADA accessibility. And whatever window, signage, anything that was approved.
If anything.
Jared,
Two things. One is a comment, one's a question. The comment is, that stretch of canal has been a bit scruffy for a number of years, but if you've been there recently, there actually is like a remarkable resurgence of really sort of high-end, design-oriented retail, especially on the north side, west of there. So that's just one contextualization that I want to offer. The other was a question, and Tammy, you might remember, President mentioned last night that there's a shelter being built on Worcester at Canal.
not relevant.
No, it's
Yeah.
not, I'm just. trying to get a full
Yeah, it
view.
was, but I don't know the address.
No, no, it doesn't, I just.
It's their district, so.
It's not our district, it's in, one of.
We
it's
are
in
only the
community.
south side of Canal Street. We are not the north side, only the south side.
It doesn't impact this, it's just, again, trying to get a holistic view of it.
Yeah. Got it. Okay, Mr. Green, I assume it's Greenberg, right?
Yeah, it's a long last name, like Greenberg, the easy.
Sure.
And Leah Greenberg is my full last name, I'm sorry.
Don't be sad.
Oh, my gosh.
I got that, don't worry. Okay, so again, the hours, just as a confirmation, so everybody knows we're looking at the same thing here. The hours that we talked about are, Zach, you don't do that?
It's 11 a.m. to 9 p.m.
Monday
Monday
through
to Thursday.
Thursday, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. Friday, Saturday, 11 to 10 p.m. Sunday, 11 to 7.
Perfect. All right, so you are not pursuing any cannabis growing on site, events on site, nor are you doing any buyouts of any kind.
That is absolutely correct.
And what is up with deliveries, please?
It's a consideration. We have not formulated, if there is a delivery system for now, this is gonna be a small family-run business. There'll be one delivery person with an e-bike. We will store the e-bike inside of the store. We will not charge any e-bike inside the store whatsoever. There's been so many terrible incidents. However, it's just a consideration. It's not a definite at this point, but we did want to inform the entire board that it's a possibility, that's all.
Timmy, if I may, I don't think that you can even store e-bikes inside. I don't know if that's true or not, but that, you can store them as long as you don't charge them.
They're,
Where do they charge?
they're UL certified.
See, but, yeah, that would be something that's really important, especially in that area, because Chinatown has been a place, I mean, this is above Chinatown, but so
That's
many
true.
fires.
You're talking about just someone that bikes on a regular bicycle. I don't know too much.
But yeah, that isn't there to
Uh,
find.
Brandon?
I just want to throw out the concern of like, I'm just thinking of how housing work, and this is true to many of these places, how housing work always has a line. And like, there's no space for a line in that area. So just wanted to.
That space inside, where are they gonna?
I'd
We're
rather.
gonna hire a security guard, an unarmed security guard. We have a security company all set up already. However, we would never allow a line outside. It's,
Your check-in area is quite tiny. Would there be availability to, especially because you're right at the intersection of the subways that are there?
yeah,
Is there any way that you could increase the size of your entry waiting area to ensure that queuing can be done inside?
so it's funny you say that. If you look at the first table, the first, what they deem to be a display case, you can push that back or actually have it removed to enlarge the waiting area for customers. That's not a problem. This mock-up was purely made for purposes of determining where we're gonna place items, and it can always be moved or moved around, maneuvered, so there can be better facilitation for customers.
So you would agree to enlarge the waiting area to allow queuing only indoors?
Yes, that is not a problem.
Oh, I see it.
And that bathroom is ADA accessible?
So if you look on the plans, we're gonna compare the existing, on the photos, we're gonna tear this bathroom apart. The ADA bathroom that is listed on the plan, the floor plan is ADA accessible.
Okay.
And there's an existing, in the photographs, there's an existing bathroom, but that will of course
Oh,
be
yeah.
gutted and removed.
So I have concerns about the accessibility in the front and the signage and whatever changes that are being done in front of the building. I won't lie on that. And need to feel super comfortable to see that. That's my feedback thus far, and I'm gonna put that in here. If that does not exist currently, we would deny you.
Okay. But if we had a plan,
If everything is as you say it is, then yeah.
okay.
So, yeah,
Oh, I was just touching my nose, sorry.
you know, I think that's good, as long as we have those as stipulations, it's a yes with stipulations.
Go ahead, Mark.
I would just comment on my office work is not far from there, and I think that's a good location for this type of business, and
if everything is strong in the perfect district or that's. Remember, we should have districts for these things. They do it in Amsterdam.
I would also add that the 3 units above are all residential, not residential, excuse me, they're all office spaces, the C of O is attached, and, they're all presently vacant.
Chi-town feels.
Presently vacant, okay.
Are we ready for a motion?
Yeah.
We are, I just wanna take a look at the front of the building, is that where, which?
Paint was 308. This is a narrow white
Narrow,
building that's covered in graffiti on the
Yeah,
side.
and-
Yeah.
And it's only like 2 floors, right, or something? Yeah, that's it.
It's not the red one, it's to the left, and it's, oh, go back one to the right, there you go.
It's next to Stellar Works?
Covered in graffiti.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah.
You shall get, sign off on Stellar Works?
Can I approach, I'll show you where it is on the map?
No.
Yeah.
I'm so trained, you can ask if I can approach it.
The bench, yeah, exactly.
Crosswalk.
This is for.
Yeah, it's at the crosswalk.
I'm sorry, this one, the red one?
Yeah, that.
Oh, I always thought it was the
That's
white one.
the
I'm sorry, yeah, this is that's.
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
The red building?
The red building, yes,
Okay.
yes,
This thing, and it's 4 stories.
yes, it's 4 stories. There's 3 offices and then the storefront.
Did y'all talk to Stellar Works?
Stella Works is like the clothing store next door.
It's a furniture store.
Furniture store, no, we did not. We only spoke to the residents, the residential tenants. We thought that was most important. So 317, 336.
Okay, so where are you parking? You said where would you park them? There is no
Inside.
obvious place to park the bikes because you are in between 2 crosswalks. And I'm uncertain of the parking. Where are you planning on queuing your delivery bikes?
Excuse me.
Oh, yeah, I see. It's sort of, yeah, you're in between 2 crosswalks, you're right.
There's no side place.
And there's,
This building has a rear access to specifically the store to Lisbon. And we can
oh, that is not a good answer. Sorry.
All right,
But, okay, keep going. Let's see, what is the,
we can, there's a bike rack out there in the rear.
but you will not have any customers going in and out on Lisbonard.
No,
correct?
never. The front
Well, we'll
entrance
put
would
it in.
only,
Don't
would
worry.
only be the front entrance. It's on Canal Street to ever access for customers.
I don't understand about that.
Patty has a question.
Go
That
ahead.
would be bad because it would be the
Right.
bin stuff.
You know who lives behind it?
Yes, I guess.
Alice.
Oh.
I knew.
Our vice chair lives in a very close proximity to where your building is. So we will be putting in this resolution that there will be no customers.
Coming in and out.
Coming in
Egress and
and
egress
out
on Lisbonard, absolutely fine.
Correct.
That was never our intention.
Okay. Connor? I have no idea, Colin.
I
Go ahead.
hate to put you on the spot, but I'd love to hear from the applicant directly. And I just want to see for the record, everyone here knows I've been against a lot of these, but if there's a district that makes sense, this is kind of it to me.
That's what I thought when we were filling out this application. To me, this is the place to
But
have.
to Jared's point, it is kind of a blossoming small business area. I'd love to hear from the applicant directly. What's your vision for the facade? What's it gonna look like? What do you want to design it like?
So, the idea is to work with landmarks. So I work with landmarks closely in project management, and we've done facades. The idea is contextual, right? And the idea is not just to make, restore the storefront and restore the facade and remove all the graffiti and the old paint. You want to restore it to its original color.
Yeah.
And that brick that's there, because I've done other buildings on Canal Street, the brick that's there, you're able to remove all the paint, restore it, and actually have the original brick and add a seal, and you'll have the brick from the building was built in the 1910s. You can totally restore it, bring it back to the 1910s.
So typically restore a brownstone New York City feeling, you want to stick to that?
Yeah, and then the brickwork is not a lot, it's mostly the pointing. So right now, you're able to get colors, exact colors to match the pointing of the brick. So the idea is to work with what's there, and you're gonna repoint, and you can patch maybe certain sections of the brick. The brick is in very good condition. In regard to the application with landlords, what happened was, as I talked to the landlord, they had a provision of adding a floor, putting in brand new windows, because the idea now with the brand new windows is passive house building. You eliminate the need for high use of AC or heating. So passive house windows, passive house storefronts. And they went before Landmarks and they got an approval to add a floor. Now, I don't know if staff level I could get you the particulars. So that went away with the pandemic, their financing went away.
If that was 2016, their permit expired.
Yeah, yeah. Because, yeah, it's a long-term project for them, eliminating, tenants leaving, et cetera, because it's not always like, nothing ever lines up perfectly. You have a tenant, they have 2 years, 3 years left on a lease, nothing ever lines up perfectly. But the idea was to have, they have the same architect, that they retained back then. That same architect has a full set of plans. And also they have they did structural studies to lower the cost. So they can provide all those plans, which, they're prepared to file a DOT, and they would have to wait for, landmark. So they.
You should let your clients speak more often. He's pretty compelling, Councilman.
Yeah.
More.
Yeah.
And we also would like to take the interior and restore the interior to 1940s kind of look, which is different from what everybody else is doing. We don't want to do an Apple Store type thing. We want to do something retro. And I think that would fit the neighborhood. And
Was that a dig at the last applicant? That's what she said.
He's right, every applicant, it's gonna be like the Apple Store, it's gonna be like the Nike store.
Okay, guys, Susan?
So, under what category are you getting this license? Minority, former, whatever?
Minority.
We filed a C application, the social, economic, and diversity, I believe, folder to follow the application.
And it's just a family-run application.
It is just a family-run business. I can send you the operating agreement for the LLC. It is,
And then is the back of the building 53 at Lisbonard?
I don't know the rear address, but I can get it for you, of course.
So, I'm looking at the building, it's 53 Lisbonard.
Okay, no problem.
So is it a floor through store all the way through to Lisbonard?
That's my
And
understanding.
so there are windows and access in the back. What are you planning on doing for the storefront side on Lisbonard? If you have the entire ground floor?
The only thing that we would do is we would use it for, you're just talking about the facade? Are you talking about the actual, the door, like we're gonna put in a secured fire door in the back that is locked and meant for employees only?
Well, I see an exit out that way. There's also windows in the back. You have a display case. So I'm wondering what the plan is for Lisbon.
If you look at the rear photo, the rear part of the floor plan, excuse me,
I see what's existing.
it's only an employee area in the rear behind that glass display case. There was never an intention to allow any ingress or egress for customers.
We are focused on the Canal Street Boulevard, and we're
Okay.
very mindful that we need to have a good relationship with Mr. Nard being a very well-established residential.
Correct.
That's the point that you got
We
it.
don't want to have a conflict with the resident.
But you are not the operator. You are their architect, correct?
No, I.
He's a
the
Salcedo.
My
He's
brother.
one of the brothers.
You're one of the brothers. And the
Yes.
third gentleman is?
That's my brother.
How you doing? Van Greenberg, and Van Leer Greenberg's brother and also his associate.
Just trying to understand how we're rolling.
They're brothers and then we're brothers.
That's kind of cool.
Okay.
Yeah, no interest in the
Darren.
back.
To that point, if the Lisbonard Street side is gonna be the side where there's gonna be employee entering and exiting
And delivery.
and delivery and garbage, can we request that the garbage collection be coordinated with neighboring businesses on the block?
Good point.
Assuming
Yes.
garbage is gonna go out there, yeah.
I prefer.
And that nobody will be out there smoking.
Yeah.
I prefer the garbage actually on Canal Street, because there's a lot of Canal Street garbage
Okay.
pickup anyway.
Correct.
Commercial. And you
Okay.
don't want the
Fine.
commercial trucks.
Yay,
Lisbon.
Great.
okay.
Even better.
Okay.
Perfect.
The idea is everything.
Everything on the Canal
Have a
Street.
good relationship.
Where are your deliveries coming? Are they gonna come from Lisbonard or are they gonna come on Canal?
Canal Street is the best way to do it. It's the main
Okay.
boulevard.
It was never our intention to utilize the Lisp Bernard entrance ever, given the fact that our entire purpose is to revitalize a very, very dilapidated block.
Gotcha. So you're just gonna park the delivery bike back there, which is right next to the city bike rack?
Correct.
Oh, that's the one. Okay.
Yeah, and then
Does
that,
any-
the only one thing
no,
would
no,
be,
Brenda,
oh, sorry.
Betty had a.
Betty, you have something?
No, actually, you just clarified two of them. One was, I was going to ask about were the bikes still allowed to go out back side of the building as servicing that, as well as to confirm the space for the waiting inside. Because of course you realize, and I see this, those are both very positive because Canal Street will be rebuilt in the fairly near future.
Yep.
That's our hope.
Agreed,
Hold my breath.
agreed, Brenda.
The only thing I want to throw out there is like if you have deliveries on the canal side, then like you're gonna be blocking the sidewalk with bikes. Even if it's 2 or 3.
But
No,
they're
he's
not,
talking
they're doing
about,
deliveries
he's talking
on
about
West Side.
truck deliveries
Oh.
of product
Okay,
to
thank you.
come through the front door.
Thank you. Okay.
And what I would say is for our stipulation, if we could, just to make it clear that at the back Lisp Bernard entrance, it's, or exit, it's only used for the bike deliveries.
No problem.
Employees should enter and exit
Through the front.
through the front door when they're coming to work, they close up. And they should not smoke smoke cigarettes or loiter.
It's emergency
back.
access.
Yes.
Okay, and that would be just a request, because residential.
We're happy to be a part of the community. Like, if that's what your request is, it's easy. It's no
Yeah.
problem.
Perfect.
Perfect. That's
Okay,
the-
Colin.
Just to confirm, you would be revitalizing the back of the Lisbon Art side of the building, right? Getting rid of the graffiti and cleaning it up.
Correct.
You're probably going a long way to making some friends on that street.
Yeah.
And probably making people happy.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So
Okay.
I call the question.
I call, I
Whatever.
second that for a affirmative vote. Please get us all the landmark stuff. So
Yeah.
that's gonna be,
Before Tuesday.
No problem.
assuming that you have all that and that's all in the proper order, we'll go by affirmation. So assuming this is all a yes, are there any opposed? Are there any abstentions? Are there any recusals? Motion passes. Welcome to the neighborhood.
Thank you so much.
And I hope you get a lottery
We
number.
hope you get a
Yeah.
lottery
I
number.
really hope you get a good lottery number and you get there before
If
some of the others.
whatever you wish, if you want to hold on to it or not, you know.
There's a lot
We
of
do
them.
got a lot.
Do not, we
We-
do back to you.
Right.
As long as you have
So
one,
would
you're
you-
good, right?
Otherwise,
it's
Last space, they have a lower.
That's a different grant.
All right, so that's all,
Strictly makes-
that's all three, one.
It
Yeah,
does.
it's
It
unfortunate
makes you
because they
get
both,
both of them.
they
things
both,
down.
they both came in there.
Our family had.
Families and-
Yeah, yeah.
Now we have bylaw task force.
For 100 years, 80 years.
Well, that's good.
Through us. So that's
Okay.
hate storm.
All right, let's get, it's 7:40. I'd like to be out by 8:15, the latest tonight, guys.
We were on the same floor. We were on the same floor. Good night.
Good night, thank you.
You're welcome to the neighborhood. If you'd like to be a full board, if you have any, for any questions, feel free to join us.
I can email those plans to Miss James or the.
Actually get,
Yeah, his business.
Was there an opposition, that guy?
Who?
Dude who's.
No.
Board member.
Who?
Simone. You didn't know?
I've never met her.
I know.
No, just the gentleman that was sitting behind me.
Simone?
Simone.
Never met her.
With an S-H-I.
M-O.
Never. That was before my
Former
I
board
thought I was-
member.
And my time, and my time too.
Is it for your time
Wow. Oh, no.
too? That's on my committee.
All right, but a couple things we're gonna do super fast. First, I have some exciting and fun news. We got a new board member today. Jill Goodkind was appointed as of today to Community Board One. She got her documentation. She cannot be here tonight, but she was a former public member. She is now a full board member,
That's awesome.
which is awesome. I don't know what committee she's gonna be on. She may not choose to be on any of yours.
It's gonna be on now.
Quality of
I
life.
know.
I know, but whatever.
I already.
She will get the full new board member treatment and all the orientation stuff and everything as courtesy as a full board member and she will choose. Alrighty, so that's some fun news. Bylaws task force. The last time we did a bylaws task force, it was done with the Personnel Committee and some other people. We need a really nice group of people who are willing to go through. It does not have to be at an official meeting. I don't care how you do it. It'll come back. It's a working group that'll come back to the executive committee to take all the resolutions that we passed with open meetings and hybrid and everything, and look at our bylaws, which have not been updated since 2019, and make sure that they're current and accurate, which includes everything. For example, if there's a declaration of an weather emergency, the board chair can say, we are 100% virtual, and that makes it legal. We don't have to wait for the city and all the rest. Like all of the stuff that we've talked about, and really making sure that our bylaws and our guidelines are clean. So, I know Alice was one. I would love to drag more members of exec in who are willing to do it.
Are these more in-person meetings though?
It can all be done virtual. It's a working group. You just gotta revise the bylaws, make sure it's updated, work on the docs together. And once it's done, send it to exec so we can have it done before the end of April.
Did you ask?
Jeff Galloway?
Susan will join.
Jessica Gale.
I'm making the announcement here. Whoever would like to do it can do it.
I know, I'm looking, but.
I don't think it has to be in person.
Sorry, Patrick.
my head down.
Patrick's keeping his head down.
I know, me
Patrick
too.
is training the second parliamentarian.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
Patrick's job right now.
Tammy, I would just on that, I would maybe recommend getting some of our newer members.
Yep.
Maybe even those who are lawyers, to take a look, because
Morton, you have been nominated.
there's nothing like a fresh set of eyes and a fresh perspective to really
That's
kind of
good.
say this
That's
makes
good.
sense or
You
why
guys
do
see that bus that
that.
just went by that ran
Is that
over?
what you-
Yeah, right?
Tammy, does that mean
Okay,
you're
so
nice-
now-
nicer than me?
So awesome. I'm
No,
now up
doesn't mean a
to
thing.
3 people so thus far. I don't care how many are on there. It could be 4 or 5, whatever. Morton, you, Mr. Zelter, and Alice thus far are my trios.
think you should ask that.
And we'll
That
ask
should be good
Mr.
if he has
Galloway
time.
as well.
Yeah.
All right, that's 4. Anybody else?
I've looked at bylaws for other people.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. So we'll make that an official. It is a working group. I do not expect you guys to have to meet in person. It could all be done digitally. It does not make a difference to me. All right, so we'll get with Zach and me and we'll,
See that move?
get it going.
Who's the new
Okay.
parliamentarian?
So that's more, thanks
the next
Morton for your
president?
volunteerism.
You know, my father, when he was in the army.
You don't wanna do it?
In World War II, said the first rule was.
Balance.
You love order.
Dr. Von.
Everybody's father was who was in the army, just so she never volunteered.
Okay, perfect. I love volunteerism. I love the way that works. Okay, a reminder, we are on the 2nd floor in the mezzanine
Next week.
on Tuesday. Reminder, bring a sweater.
Yeah.
It's warm when you get there and environment, and it gets real cold real fast because they turn the heat off in the building.
No, isn't that, don't we also enter on the other side? When it's the
Yeah,
mezzanine?
No.
No?
Enter on the south side still. You can't enter on the north side. They don't, I don't think.
I think I remember entering on the other side when we had to go to. the
I did,
meeting.
I remember once.
Yes.
Hopefully we have some
Acoustic.
Get that out of the way.
I like that suggestion. Pat, you're okay with it? We'll tell Lucy quality of life should go first at the full board.
Why are we going first?
It's gonna be.
To get it out the way.
To get it out of the way. It's not how we talk.
Oh, because of the
Beekman.
Beekman Street.
Zach, you have to check, because I did not get the
I
copy.
emailed it to you twice, so.
No, but did it go to G?
Yeah.
I only use AOL. I never use Gmail.
I'll take a look because I'm the one who emailed it out. So we'll
Okay,
double
because I
check.
didn't. I'll get the about this.
That came out at like 5:30, so.
Late, came out late, so.
Oh.
Okay, let's go around the table. I agree with Colin, quality of life should go first. Justine, anything from Battery Park City that is
Be
gonna,
controversial? No, I don't think so. I'm just gonna do a report.
fantastic.
Report.
Pat, we already know you had a hell of a meeting last
Oh
night.
my God, guys, there were
It's a great
72 people online and like
Really?
50 people here.
Beekman Street.
Did
The
you do a
shelter,
resolution, Pat?
the shelter.
Yeah, resolution, but it's,
You need a resolution?
resolution's gonna be controversial.
Sammy
The
wrote it.
resolu- Yes, the
We have to
resolution is done.
Yeah.
People are gonna come to talk about it.
Yeah, so
It's
we talked
public
about at the
hearing.
beginning,
There's
we
people
hear a
that
lot,
sign up.
but,
Yeah.
but that's true. Let them go
Because
first, and then they
specifically,
go
it's a
away.
men's shelter in very close
Across the street from
proximity
Allen.
to a
The
pre-K,
schools.
Yeah.
directly across the street from
Pat, it went to.
children as young as 4.
It was AOL?
Who's
You
the
mean when you sent it
sponsor?
the second time?
Is it the
Okay.
city?
Yes, it's DHS shelter. So the committee was sharing that we would welcome a women's shelter, a family shelter, and they said, that's not what you need. You need this
The
men's
only
shelter.
thing that she didn't
So that's the
really
problem.
answer
People are gonna
me
come and speak
about
out
the
about that.
configuration.
No,
But
she
if
never
it's run by the city.
And Patrick, the
Must
resolution
be
says
run
we
by
pause
Health
it,
USA.
so
That's
if-
not the
Right, but it's a
issue. No, what she
DHS
was
shelter.
saying is
Just
that,
don't give you the staff, they don't give the
but the
supervision.
owner of the
It's a
building
mess.
came with the proposal.
I used to
So
work.
the way it works is the owner of the building partnered with Help USA,
To
and Help
forward.
USA did an RFP to get, because, as a proposal to DHS.
Right,
And she is.
and so they could
And
change that
they-
proposal.
Right.
They I mean, it was,
It was full of.
Maybe they can't change it to family, but they could change it to women.
Women.
If it's for single
But,
people.
and,
Yeah, I know, I agree with you, but they were saying the structure of the building only provides for
No.
single people.
No,
Make it
yeah,
single
but-
women.
That's
They're
not the issue.
between-
Right.
No, no, it doesn't, but
Takes
not-
a lot of
I'm
time.
just gonna say, you'll see the resolution, everybody needs to review it.
They
from the
do.
committee leads, and then put it up early, it'll go out because it was done. It was
Allegedly. I mean, there's
one
no way
hell of
to
a
say.
meeting. I will tell you, there were people lined up
In the-
down the
Yeah, it was-
hallway,
In
people
there,
out
in
here.
there.
Matt,
So if there's
scientists
more
on
women that are
the
homeless,
thing
Yeah,
behind
that's
me.
another problem.
It
that needs to be
was
discussed.
crazy. There were well over 50 people in the room,
And
plus the
70
Because we're
board,
gonna make less money,
plus
right?
78 online.
It was a lot
So
of.
There's still not a law to
said,
set up to
okay,
pay
well,
us.
what happened
So if there's
after the
more
shelter
of us
discussion
And
was
we make
over?
less money,
There were still
and
20
they're the
people
ones that are more
online.
homeless.
Yeah.
That's another problem. that needs to be discussed.
Because we still have
Didn't want to drag it out last time.
Yeah, we were in the
She-
hallway.
Something about it being a shelter that was not internet.
You could just
It was-
Right.
We
But
were
then the
waiting.
next level up, is these are people.
And then
who
I
have
got
been
annoyed
in the
with it.
system and they're like, is it like transitional housing? Do
They were
live
like,
at home?
So here's.
This is my
here's-
question.
Here's what
This
they
is-
did not clarify, that Justine and I tried to ask them. So the people who come to be assigned to this location go to the 30th Street. We understood that. But what they did not clarify is what the level of service that the people that they're designing the shelter for. Like, are these people who are employed and
Well,
unhoused?
they said not, they're not ready to discuss that yet.
Yeah,
They don't
that's
know
just-
the
they don't
program
know.
yet.
But they did,
USA knows the program
Right.
because they did the RFP.
Yeah, but they haven't come.
And they haven't come. Now, I will tell you that when you look at the resolution, one of the things that I mentioned last night is on the city's website, it very clearly says that DHS is supposed to come with the operator after the contract's been awarded to the community.
Contract hasn't been.
they
Well,
said.
contract has been awarded. The lease has helped you.
Right, the contract was awarded.
Has anybody foiled the RFP?
Not yet, we asked, but that's the
No.
resolution.
Well, I said, I know they refused it.
You said, have you foiled it?
Our
Well, we have
council
to
member
analyze it.
asked for it less than 48 hours ago and has not been able to get it. So we didn't know if they were gonna bring it last night.
They
We're
did
gonna
not.
do the resolution, and then if Chris cannot get it, then we will have to foil it, yes.
They made some
Which I
distinction.
have to tell you, foiling does not necessarily help you. I mean, there's so many ways to push a foil years down the line, AKA the way BBJ happened.
Somebody help me
I-
with this
I-
one. They made a
Hold on.
distinction
About
between a
Hold
shelter.
on, stop, Justine, hold on. Patrick, what'd you say?
52 William, when that shelter
Yeah.
Yes,
before COVID. I have foils outstanding from the Bellagio administration.
I'm sure.
Foils gonna-
Yes.
Yeah, that's not.
They're still working on it. That
Yeah,
administration's
they need more
working on
time.
it.
But
They could just give it to us though, right?
they could.
Well, we asked them to bring it.
Yeah, they did.
So they're making us go through that.
See,
They haven't, we don't know, we haven't seen it.
Oh, but can they do that? Can they redact everything? Okay, here it is.
Yeah.
And to Dr. Drew's question and point, at Six Water, over and over again, we had people who had been registered sex offenders.
Yeah.
And not just level 2, we had level 3 as well.
Yes.
But when we would look into it, because their restrictions had been lifted by
Well,
whomever,
that's what they said.
it was fine. But
It's
there
served
were
their
indeed
sentence.
people who had, done
They
horrible things
said
to
it.
children
Yeah, they said it on.
living at 6 William.
If they
I
serve
mean,
their
at 6
sentence.
Water.
Yes. Now, this is why, pursuant to Colin's request,
We're
Quality
going
of Life
first.
will be the first committee at full board. If I forget to get to Lucy, who's off today, I promise you, Quality of Life will be first, and Colin will remind me.
Sorry.
After,
No, I laughed.
after it's it, that's good. Anything else? Brandon, anything else?
Treasury report.
Treasurer
Regular.
report, you good? Mort, anything else you want to bring in? Thank you for your volunteerism.
Buckle in, we've got an extremely long resolution.
Yeah.
The, zoning for economic opportunity,
Oh,
zoning text amendment.
Second.
It's incredibly complicated with 18 individual proposals. We spent 3 or 4 hours just voting on all 18 of them. Sammy and I have game planned this. We're gonna simplify this thing as much as humanly possible. There's no way I could go through the amount of detail that's gonna be in there. So an email is gonna go out to the entire board ahead of time with some presentation materials, a link to the video. You know, whoever wants to do their homework and get educated about it ahead of time, fine, but we're not gonna sit there and go blow by blow.
Perfect. That's smart.
Never get out of there. And
However, what?
except.
I was at Borough Board this morning, and I was really phenomenally thrilled to be at Borough Board this morning, beyond many other days. Because we went through all 18 proposals, all the board's president had to talk to the council member. There were really smart things added that I was really frustrated, because we sat in this meeting for 4.5 hours going through 18 proposals, well, 19 total, right? And had we had what CB11 said, it would have unplugged 2 hours of debate on a couple of those items, because CB11 was like, yeah, absolutely not without a mechanism for community board approval on a couple of the things. And I was like, well, how's goes? Why didn't we ask for that? And I asked DCP, I'm like, had this forum happen, it would have been significantly easier for us. There were many, 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 many things. And I will just say something like, agriculture, growing agriculture, that we were fighting back and forth and back and forth. And there were a lot of other boards who said really smart things as a way to limit it or as a way to control it. It was, people were like, yeah, you could grow commercial, whatever you want in a commercial building, but not in a residential building. And I was like, well, gee, that would have taken off the 20 minutes of people arguing about having cannabis grown above, below, left or right of them.
Yeah.
Having half
Because you
a floor
wouldn't have
turned
that.
into a grower's. I mean, it was really, really interesting. So I took the notes. I asked land use people from the borough president's office to send us their final resolutions with the mods that they did, and anything that fit within our discussion at the community board that assuaged the concerns that we had, I would bring to full board. There were many, many, many things that the borough president said approved with restrictions or modifications that were suggested that at the end were turned into no unless in order to be able to get them passed. And there were still things that were no. CB8 was rabidly upset about everything in it and said, we did not approve anything that took away one piece of residential housing because we have an affordability crisis.
Yeah.
And we do not want to have the affordability changed only through FAR changes and heights and stuff like that.
So Tammy, without going into each of the 18 and retreading all that ground, how are we gonna offer amendments?
A lot of them
Pack it
were,
up tight.
a lot of them were pretty close. So close that a friendly amendment is not a big,
Okay, cool.
is not a big thing. I mean, it's just, I have the left and right of it and I'll show them to you.
Patrick, what is Robert rules? What can we do to limit time of debate? What can we actually
You make a
propose?
motion to limit debate.
Propose anything you
That's
want.
what you do, yeah. The
Yeah.
thing you do is actually the correct way.
We have to limit both those committees because it's gonna be out of control.
And not to be outdone, we also have a Water Street zoning text amendment, arcade bill resolution to get through.
Yeah.
That as long as explain it correctly to people that, listen, we're not here to retread that either. They're filing within the law, we disagree with it.
Yeah.
I think we can get through it reasonably well, but it very well could turn into a knockdown, drag out sort of thing.
I actually did think that one went too badly and.
It did, but-
And the operator provided all the information, so we
Yeah.
need to include that with the resolution, I think. Because that answered the question of how many chairs were there before, how
Yeah.
many chairs are there now. So the minutia I
Yeah.
thought was,
Yeah, we'll read that clarification stuff. Anyway,
Paul,
that's it.
I'm gonna share a file with you. All right, Mariana,
Let me just share that, the resolution that Quality of Life passed in October for the 9/11 youth cohort has been officially uploaded to the federal government and accepted as our comments, making recommendations as to how to reach out to the youth and what else we
How
felt
fabulous.
should be part of it.
That's
Has been-
wonderful.
And then community boards, 3 in Manhattan and 2 in Brooklyn subsequently passed like the identical resolution. They copied our resolution. And board 2 in Manhattan is also working to do the same thing now.
So that's good.
That's
Great
awesome.
job.
Thank
That's
you very,
excellent.
very much.
It's a good job.
All right,
Yeah, he just.
Sharon, you good?
Oh, I have
Amy, anything?
well, I was just wondering, so CB4 has a cannabis committee? What do we think about that?
I think it would be awesome to have a cannabis committee because I die every month right now. I really, as I jokingly said to Jared and Brendan the other day, really would hope that the two of them would partner together.
Yeah, totally.
Maybe even with Darren, and form a separate committee. You could do street activity comments with him. But,
And then support my wife.
Wait, louder.
Yeah, I made a resolution
Mhm.
of support.
Support your wife, there you go.
yeah. So the problem is we have 10 current committees, standing committees. And we don't have bandwidth that I know of. I asked early on if anybody would serve on one. We could never get a DEIS committee going. We couldn't get a cannabis committee going. Licensing, who I tried desperately to take cannabis, was like, hells, bells,
You
no.
guys are drowning in
And
this place.
they said, and I understand, because on some months when they have 4, yeah, they could take cannabis, but on a lot of other months, they have a dozen to 16. And they did not want to turn into a CB 2 or 3, which has 2 licensing committees a month. So I am trying, if anybody has a suggestion, I don't rule with an iron fist. Certainly tell me, if you guys can figure out a way that we can make this better, I am all ears. But so far,
I didn't hear
unfortunately.
no.
Oh, he said his wife has to say yes.
My dog has to say yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll just put it to you
I
this
think
way.
the challenge is it's only
Brenda
been so
and
many
Jared
days in a month.
have so far been the most helpful on this topic on the board, and Susan. I'm actually gonna move some of the resolution writing, once we get the resolution formula down with them, to them, so we get everything, and then we can just send them, so they can help us get that through.
They've been a fabulous addition. I mean, really.
Wonderful.
It makes a big difference.
Jess has been helpful too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yep. So, I mean, it's a tough thing. If Mimi, I'm down for it. Figure out a way, talk to people, anybody. I haven't had anybody come forward and say, yes, I'm in. If we can find a separate way, I'd like it to leave exactly.
I find it so funny because when I first joined the board, we were like on 3 and 4 committees. at a
I
time.
know, right?
Well, it's a different time and
The
participation.
meetings are much longer now.
Yeah.
You know,
Only some.
No.
I think the majority of the meetings are much longer now.
Our
Depends on the
committee
month.
certainly is a lot
Yeah.
longer. And I did that, I switched last night.
Brendan, how many
And I
committee
become
meetings did you go
short
to?
committee.
You know, financial district is always a lot. Yeah. Well, we didn't have a meeting,
Well,
so
I
the
go to-
email exchange,
Is that
you sent to
the
Lucy
full
about the
board, or just
Romanian,
me?
street fair.
Okay, yeah, I have 4.
That I believe is not CB1 sponsored, so.
I can't go to the gym. right?
What I do, street fair, it doesn't make a difference if it's CB one
No, I
or now street
because
fairs.
this June, I
So
said
do you
link
wanna
and
do
it
that
closes
one and
down.
review it
I mean, we've,
So those
um,
meetings.
in March?
we haven't, and that's what, that one's been approved every year as far as I know.
Do you feel that it does not need to come before the board then?
It's on Broadway.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's on Broadway. It's gonna be June 9th this year. I don't think it's an issue.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Zach, please approve.
Okay.
Done.
luckily, no big deal. This
Love that.
We got out early.
What do I got?
You got anything for
I
it?
got nothing for you.
Okay,
Betty.
hearing no other thing.
Oh, Betty's got.
Hey, Betty,
Transport.
and Paul. Yes, Betty and then Paul.
Fine. First, I have a warning for everybody. There are a lot of private conversations, and if you listen to the tape, a lot of you are going to hear yourself saying very private things on the tape. So you probably don't want to continue doing that. Second of all,
Thank you.
transportation, we have 2 different resolutions this month. They could go either way. But nevertheless, one of them is about daylighting, which I don't expect to be as time consuming a discussion. The other one is congestion pricing, which we passed a very narrow one, which really goes after two different items. So if, depending how much people get vested in wanting to add to it, would make the difference with how long that conversation would be on Tuesday.
Third.
Oh,
We
so
always do that though. and we get
I know
really
I have
fired up.
one amendment that I'd like to add in there, but they did a lot of hard work in the committee and I want to say thank you very much. Because transportation, I understood, took a lot of time in it this month and I heard an update afterwards.
The residents of the east side just filed the lawsuit.
Yeah,
I saw.
Yeah.
So, just so you know.
Fifth lawsuit
Good for
now.
them. I don't know if I could be 20. Okay, Paul.
We had a very long discussion about the Plus Pool. As some of you may have heard, both the governor and mayor announced their support for an experiment this season with the Plus Pool, and they gave them some money. And we did get a report from Wendy, who spoke to Kara, and she is looking at sites. Several of the sites are within CB1. But we did come up with a resolution that is going to come before the board. It started from our original support resolution that was done in March of 21. And this board has been very strongly in support. Wendy has been on this call since the beginning. She had quite a bit to say. But there was support. Everyone except one person supported this. We are the only community board district without a public pool. So that was certainly something notable that we want to emphasize. We want to work with the residents of Board 3, especially the NYCHA people, to make sure they have some access to this. And there are several other points that we want to include in the resolution. I think there was a lot of support to keep it on the east side because that area is so underserved as far as amenities for this community. So that's where it came up with. Andrew is going to give the report at the full board because I'm not going to make it. And I'm sure we'll have a lively discussion.
Okay. Thank you very much to everybody. It's really been a crazy month to start the year with a lot of really major things: congestion pricing, City of Yes, cannabis, shelters. It will continue because DHS and DSS will come back again. We have borough-based jail design guidelines meeting coming up. We're waiting for confirmation. Look out for that. February 6th. We've invited, the first Tuesday in February should be that one, and then we invited DOC.
That was a Zoom, right?
That's a Zoom.
February 6th.
DOCJ. If you are on environmental, we are not having an environmental protection committee meeting on Monday. However, there is a new secret rulemaking which we will send out, and we ask everyone on the environmental protection committee to watch the videos. Zach will be sending an email out on the presentation that was held in Battery Park City, because a joint resolution will come out from EPC and BPC in February on just those two areas, which go from the south, from basically the volleyball courts on the Esplanade all the way south to the end of South Cove. We have not seen any connection to the other project yet, but they tell us it's coming. So, and we are working on how to get the rest of the information. But it's a lot of work, and what we're trying to do is not make everybody go to everything, because again, we don't have a lot of people who want to be at the community board 20 hours a month. So we're working on watch the video at home in your jammies.
Which is good. And then part of what I'm gonna do is try to summarize in my 10 minutes for a report, whatever it is, what happened, to give the highlights for the folks.
Right, the report is.
8 minutes.
Eight
It's a long
minutes, oh my
public session.
goodness.
All right, Zach and I today met with Yeah. It was super cool. I asked them to come and present to the community board when they are ready. It was the IBI.
Who is?
The Institute of Black Imagination.
Oh.
And they're opening up in the Oculus,
Yeah.
and it should be super cool, and I asked them to.
Black imagination. Oh, that reminds me,
the room.
the ranger from the African burial ground wants to get Luke back in. I told him we'd invite him to
He would love to. Lucy's-
very near future quality of life meeting.
He goes to Waterfront Parks and Cultural.
Oh, okay, well, I told him quality of life, but like,
He goes to WPC, and we would love to have him come.
This is updates, we haven't seen that.
Yeah, and that's what he said.
I
He
think
said,
that's it, right?
I'm working with him on something else, and he said, are you still on the board? And I said, yeah, and he, you know, that's how we got
Ranger
into it.
Jim, man.
Yes.
He
I always
always
liked him. Can we meet?
That's a great idea.
That is a good idea.
If the second floor doesn't work, we can go back to Ranger Jim's spot in the meeting. That wasn't bad. As long as they have the Wi-Fi for recording.
Yeah.
All right, it is 8:08.
They don't allow food in them.
Does
But
anybody
other than
have
that-
anything else, or can I make a motion to adjourn?
Please do.
All
Second.
right, let's go.
Second. Thank you.
So I just thought about it.
And I don't care what I said, what I said was put on this thing, because I posted it on Facebook. I think
Thank
it's
you. Good night,
disgusting.
Marie. Good night.
Well, now that the money- the minute-
We just